What's good, everyone? My name is Mary Kay and welcome to Mary Kay Confidential. Today's video is about a topic that is very near and dear to my heart. It's about keeping a budget, living within your means, and I have a few tips for you to help you hit your target savings goals. So if those are topics that interest you, please stay tuned. Fun fact, or maybe not so much, did you know that more than 60% of Americans do not have $1,000 saved? Today's video is geared towards those of you who are doing pretty decent salary-wise. You might love your job, but you're not actually making as much money as you would like to be making, or maybe a job switch is not an option at the time. You don't have the time or energy for a second job or side hustle. This video is for you. Let me give you a warning. Most of what I'm going to tell you are things that you probably already know, but choose to ignore. You ever been in church and the pastor is talking and you're like, did he know what I was doing last week? Like, why is he talking about me? I'm pretty sure I didn't share this information with him. There may be moments in this video where you feel that exact same way, because most of us deal with the same struggles when it comes to hitting those financial goals. This is probably already obvious to you, but if you're bringing in the same level of income but saving more, that means you had to cut some costs somewhere. So today's video is all about tips and tricks that you can use to help you save more and hit those goals. I am going to separate this video into segments. I want you to watch the whole video, okay? Watch the whole video. But if there's something that I bring up, let's say when we start talking about cutting costs on transportation, that might be a topic you want to revisit in the future. That's why I'm going to separate this into different segments. You'll be able to see at the bottom of the video so that you can come back and reference them later. Before we get into any tips and tricks, we're going to talk about 3 things that you have to have in order to hit your goals. Number 1 is a budget. If you don't have a budget, what are you doing? What are you doing? You have to have a budget. A budget is going to tell you how much you have coming in, what you have going out, how much you're spending on that you could be cutting, as well as how much you're saving. So a budget is very important for those 4 factors. Number 2, have a savings goal in mind. If you are currently saving $1,000 to $5,000 a year, but you really want to be saving $6,000 to $10,000 a year, you have to have the budget and you have to have a strategy to hit those goals. The budget is the foundation. So number 1, your budget. Number 2, your savings goal. Number 3 is your mindset. What I mean by mindset is, for instance, I live a few miles outside of DC. It's a very pricey area to live. It's a pricey area to go out, depending on where you're going. So when I say you have to have a certain mindset, it's okay to tell people no sometimes. Sometimes you can't go out every single weekend spending $100 to $300 every weekend. How are you ever going to hit your goals if you're doing that every single weekend? If they're your real friend, they'll just say, okay, I understand you can't go out this weekend. If they press and ask you why, you can say I already have something else going on, or you can simply say, it's just not in my budget right now. I'm working on my savings goals. If they're your real friend, they're going to say, okay, I understand, or okay, I applaud you for sticking to your goals. If they say anything different or anything negative, are they really your friend anyway? Also, when it comes to mindset, stop trying to impress other people. You don't have to have everything name brand or everything labels so that you can impress other people. Because at the end of the day, those same people that you're trying to impress, will they catch you when you fall? Food for thought. By the time we hit the end of this video, I want us to still be friends. If you've made it this far into the video, you have a little bit of tough skin because a couple of those points probably jabbed at you just a little bit. So if you're still here, I applaud you and thank you for staying. Let's get into some tips and tricks to cut your costs. I'm going to separate this into 5 different topics: home, food, transportation, clothing, health/beauty. Ways that you can cut costs within your home. A quick way to cut some costs within your home is to look at the amount that you're spending on your bills. Most times when it comes to bills, we look at them very black and white. It is what it is. This is how much it costs to live here. This is how much utilities cost. And this is just a price I have to pay. Now, when it comes to rent and mortgage, sometimes you don't really have wiggle room there, but you may have wiggle room within your utilities. For instance, if your cable provider is not the only option for your area, let's say you have an option of another cable provider or a satellite company, you may want to shop around on price options. Doesn't mean that you have to actually go through with leaving that provider. What you can do, shop around, come back to your provider and say, hey, company XYZ told me they can offer me the same thing that you're giving me for $30 less a month. I'm thinking about going to that company. Do you have anything that you can offer me to keep me as a customer? If you haven't been paying your bills on time, they might say, okay, all right, go on to the other company. We don't care. But if you're a good customer and you've been paying on time, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna do their best to either match that price or at least give you some type of discount to satisfy you, to prevent you from going to that other company. You can do the same exact thing with your cell phone bill. The worst thing they're gonna say is no. We don't have an option. We don't have a discount. That's the worst that's going to happen. It doesn't hurt to try. On a larger scale within your home, and please don't beat me up for asking this question, are you living within your means? Are you living in a condo or a home that's well above the price range that you need to be? For instance, you really need your price point to be $1,000, but you're paying $1,300 or $1,500. It's time to look for another home. It might be time to move to a different neighborhood or to downsize. If you own your home, you might be able to refinance your house and get a lower payment for your mortgage. If you have a large enough home or you have a basement, you can either rent out a room or you can rent out your basement. That will create some passive income for you and it will reduce your cost of your home. And in some cases, renting is more expensive than a mortgage. You might want to evaluate that option as well. Let's move on to the topic of food. Sometimes food can be costly, but there are ways to cut that cost as well. I would suggest when you're going to the grocery store, take a moment to check out different coupon options. You could possibly save 5 to 10, even more if you're really savvy with couponing. You might be able to save so much money getting the same products you normally would, but on a coupon or a discount. Most grocery stores offer their own coupons, as well as most manufacturers offer coupons as well. Now, I'm not super savvy with couponing, but some people really are, and they're able to get their bill super low. And if you know how to do that, holla at your girl, because I need some tips, okay? You can also do the same thing with prescriptions. Look for coupons on sites such as GoodRx. You can find coupons there if something is not covered by your insurance. Always look for a discount. Don't just automatically pay full price for things. Limit your going out to eat. This also includes, and I'm very guilty of, ordering on DoorDash, Uber Eats. Limit those things. They add up so quickly. If you're currently eating out or ordering in 3 times a week, let's say you're spending $20 each time. That's $60 a week, $240 a month that you just spent on those 3 meals. Could you have made something at home yourself and cut that cost? Absolutely. I don't mean you need to completely change your life and never eat out, but if you're going 3 to 5 times a week, let's reduce that to 1 to 2. You'll be surprised at how much you save just by doing that. Limit the booze. The booze and any other recreationals are things that you need to limit. If you are serious about hitting some savings goals, you gotta let go of some things. And if I mention something that you know you can't go without, if you know you can't live without your coffee Monday through Friday, by all means, skip that tip. If that's something that is important to you, you continue to get your coffee. But you might not go out to dinner 3 days a week, you might go 2. That way you eliminate some other costs. You got to find some cost reduction somewhere. This tip is for anyone dating, and specifically towards the men. If you're dating a woman you've only been dating for a short bit of time and she wants to go to an expensive restaurant, if that's not within your budget, it's okay to not take her there. Do not tap into your rent money trying to impress people. That goes back to the mindset. You're trying to hit your savings goals. You're not necessarily trying to impress anybody. And if she is insistent on going to that expensive restaurant when you've already told her that's not gonna work for you, she's probably not the girl for you anyway. Let's talk very briefly about transportation. I'm going to apply the same theory that I applied to the house. Is your car within your budget range? Are you driving an Audi when you should be driving a Toyota? Y'all don't fight me on this. Please don't fight me on this. Are you living within your means? Are you driving some luxury car that you really can't afford? Are you spending an arm and a leg on repairs for that car? It might be time to change cars. Perfect example. Recently, I traded in my car. I really wanted a Mercedes. But did I want to be paying for Mercedes repairs? No. Guess what? Your girl got a Honda. She looks good and she's affordable. If you're living in a metro area and you're Ubering or using Lyft, you might want to hop on the metro train. You might even want to catch the bus. The way these Uber fees been lately, and I'm sorry if you drive for Uber, I know you're trying to make your money, boo, but listen, it should not cost $45 for me to leave from DC and get home, which is only like about 7 miles away. I'm gonna get on the metro for about $2 or $3, okay? Let's move on to clothing. Number one, where you going? Ain't nowhere to go right now, okay? So you should not be spending an arm and a leg on clothes. I'm sorry, did I get a little too passionate? My bad. When it comes to clothes, some things you can do to reduce costs. Number one, stop running out trying to buy designer. You can't just call them up and be like, hey, over the years, I've purchased thousands of dollars worth of your merchandise. I'm kind of down and out right now. Can you hook your girl up? Can you shoot a few dollars my way? Do you think that's a realistic call that can happen? No. They don't care about you. They just care about your dollars. Stop trying to impress people with labels. Because if they really care about you, if they're a real friend, none of that matters. Labels don't matter. I'm not a label girl. I can wear a shirt from Walmart just as easy as I can wear a designer shirt. And if you ask me where I got it from Walmart. It's okay to buy something nice for yourself every once in a while. I have a few things that are designer, and if I got it, it's something that can be an everyday staple, and I'm gonna get my wear and tear out of it, okay? Impress your savings account. Don't impress these people, because they're not impressed. They're talking about you behind your back, and they probably calling it fake, even if it's real. If you're like me, you're mostly an online shopper. Online shopping requires an email address. Guess what? They're gonna constantly pump you with ads and coupons to try to get you to make purchases. What I would suggest is send those emails to your junk email address, an email that you're not going to look into every single day. If it's coming to your primary email address, you're gonna be looking like, ooh, they got a good discount today. I should go ahead and buy something. But if you have it going to a junk email that you rarely look at, when you are ready to make a purchase with that company, you can say, hey, let me search and see if I have a recent coupon in my junk email from this company to use on their website. 9 times out of 10, the coupon codes are on their website and you don't necessarily need something special in your emails. The emails are just to stimulate your brain cells to want to buy something. Last thing about clothes, if you have a lot of items that you're no longer using that are still in very good condition, look into websites and apps that allow you to resell. So that way you can recoup some of your costs from those items. Let's move on to health and beauty. This one is one that I am very guilty of. Gym fees. If you are a member of a gym, but you rarely go, if you know you're not gonna use that gym membership, go ahead and cancel it. You might say, oh, well, it's just $10. Well, that's $120 for the year that you just gave away. If it was $20, that's $240 that you just gave away. Do some at-home workouts, walk outside, be one with nature. If you have an apartment gym or a community gym, take advantage of those. It doesn't fall under health and beauty, but that's the same thing when it comes to Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime. What else do they have? Disney Plus, all those services. If you don't actually utilize those services on a daily basis or at least a weekly basis, go ahead and cancel them. If you don't want to get rid of it, reduce it down. Tell your cousin he got to get his own account because you need to reduce your costs because he's watching your Netflix for the free ski. Back to the health and beauty. So we're cutting those gym costs if you don't actually utilize the gym. And also shop around for your insurance. People have their medical, dental, and vision through their job. But let's say, for instance, you're self-employed and you have to get your own insurance, or let's say you work for a small company who only offers medical and you have to get your own vision and dental. In those situations, shop around for your insurance. You might actually find something that is a little bit cheaper, but still offering you the same benefit as the company that you're utilizing. Okay, guys, I had to go get these 2 items because, ladies, don't be mad at me, but I just gotta say it, okay? The last thing I want to talk about with health and beauty is doing some things yourself instead of going out to get the services done by other people. What are you talking about, Mary? Well, first of all, I'm talking about getting your nails done. Hear me out. Let's say you go get a gel manicure and it's gonna cost you $30 for a manicure with one color. Guess what? You can go on Amazon with those same $30 and go get yourself your own gel lamp. I've had this gel lamp for probably 3 or more years. $30 can stretch well beyond that one salon visit. You can take $100 and buy your gel lamp and plenty of colors. You're gonna spend $100 in probably 2 visits at the salon. I am very big on doing my own hair. I always have been. I'm self-taught from the age of 10. When I was still getting relaxers in my early 20s, I was staying in the salon every couple of weeks. But I just eventually got tired of it and went back to my natural hair. And it's so much cheaper. And honestly, since I lock my hair, it's even cheaper. I wish I locked my hair sooner, because I don't spend a fraction of the amount of money I used to spend on my hair, even when it was loose natural. Now, I know you're probably thinking, Mary, I'm not doing my own eyebrows, I'm not waxing my stash, you're going too far. This is a product I've been using for years. This is a face cream hair remover. I basically take this cream and sit it under my eyebrows. I also use the cream if I wanna, take care of my stash or my sideburns or even a little chin hair here and there. But you do have to let it sit and marinate. Now, if you don't have time for that, also have this. You just turn it on and you take care of your hair, whatever you want to do. I would never use this on my eyebrows. I always use the Nair on my eyebrows. These items are very inexpensive. The Nair is like $5 and it's gonna last you like 6 months to a year. Like, you don't have to replace it on a regular basis. If you are going to the salon every 2 weeks, getting your nails done, you're going to get your hair done every 3 to 4 weeks, you can eliminate a lot of that cost and do it yourself. I know all those people who are in the service industry need to make their money too. Hair used to be my side hustle, so if you do hair, I'm sorry for saying that, but if you are really trying to save some money, you have got to cut some costs. As a bonus for making it this far in the video, I want to tell you how to make your money work harder for you. Let's talk about credit cards for just a moment. Number 1, the balance transfer offers. A few years ago, I was working for a major bank and we had to learn credit card processing, and part of that was balance transfers. Now, most of our clients were affluent clients, and I was like, why are you moving your balance around? So I had to dive a little bit deeper into it. If you have a credit card with the balance on it and your interest rate is 10%, every time you make a payment, 10% of it is just paying the bank. It's not going towards your balance. If you transfer that same balance to a 0% card, then guess what? Your whole payment is going toward that principal. When I first moved from Florida to the DMV, I had a lot of card debt. I was not living within my means before I moved here. Well, I'm doing a little bit better now, so I was able to apply more towards the monthly payments, but more importantly, I moved those balances to a card that had a 0% offer for 21 months. I was able to clear up so much of my debt by just moving my debt to a card with 0%. Because now all of your money is going towards that principal. You don't have to worry about a fraction of it going to pay the bank. The key factor that you have to remember with balance transfers is you have to clear that up before the balance transfer offer ends. So if a year from now that balance transfer offer is up, you either need to have that balance at 0 or you can then move it to another card with 0%. Now, don't do that too much, okay? I want you to go ahead and pay your debt down, okay? And not just play the game. If something came up in the year, unexpected expense came up and you're not going to hit that goal of having that card balance at zero by the time that 0% offer is up, move that balance to another card with another 0% offer. They want you to go over that 12-month 0% because they want you to pay that interest. But you got to be smart about it. Use it to your advantage. And my favorite topic when it comes to credit card are your cash back and your points options. Over a year ago, I stopped utilizing a debit card. I do my everyday spending on a card that offers cash back. It's money you're gonna spend anyway. You might as well get some money back from it. And last, fly for free. Open a credit card with an airline. Most of them have introductory offers, whereas you spend a certain amount of money in the first 3 months, usually like $1,000 within the first 3 months, you're gonna get a certain amount of points to utilize towards flights. The tip here is not to just go spend $1,000. Set up your little bills as auto pays onto this credit card. For instance, your cable, your cell phone, your Netflix, your Audible, whatever services that you're using, set them up to auto pay to that card. You're gonna pay those services anyway, you might as well get some benefit out of it. You can either set it up to go to your cashback card or a card with an airline to get some points toward flights. Those are simple, easy ways to make your money work smarter for you. Okay, guys, here is your homework. Yes, you are getting homework. Your homework is, if you don't already have a budget, create one. You can use good old pen and paper, or you can use an Excel spreadsheet, which is what I prefer to do. Keep track of everything that you spend money on for 1 month. Be truthful and honest because no one is going to see this but you. At the end of the 30 days, I want you to sit down and really evaluate what you spent money on. What can you cut for next month? So then I want you to take the tips that I provided to you today, as well as those items that you could have done without, and I want you to keep track for 1 more month. Keep in mind those things that you said you could have done without. Keep in mind the tips that we talked about today. And I want you to apply that to the next 30 days. And then at the end of month 2, I want you to do the same exact thing. Evaluate how much you spent and evaluate how much you actually cut out and put into savings. If you did a good job, applaud yourself. If you didn't do such a good job, guess what? You got next month. Keep working, keep striving, keep pushing, because you got this. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please list them below. If you're familiar with me, you know I respond to every comment. Make it a priority to respond to comments. So please feel free to leave those below. If there are financial topics that you want me to dive a little bit deeper into, if it's within my realm of expertise, I will definitely post a video about that. So please make sure to leave those topic suggestions below as well. Thank you for spending some time with me today. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to spend a little bit of time with me, and I greatly appreciate that. Now see you in the next video.